Now, I'm not necessarily one to go all crazy about, character designs, but fucking mommy as hell. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and the last time we reached the just about to start the dungeon of Canto 7. This time we will be starting it. But first, we're going to do a couple rolls for Contempt or Ryoshu. As usual, I've played around with it a bit on my main account, and it is a very fun ID. God, I love the race in Limbus so much. Because, what is it? It's 1.75 per? Let me double check. 145. So, not necessarily, that's not that bad of odds, all things considered. Especially for, other gachas are usually about, 0.75, I think. So we're basically double that. But the big thing with this is that this is really, I would say, the first proper tank ID in the game. Has the statuses Gaze and Contempt, which is basically more damage from Ryoshu, taking damage or dealing damage to Ryoshu, or Contempt, taking or dealing less. But the big thing, she inflicts it with her skill 1, 2, and basic 3. Does Tremor Hemorrhage, which is less damage on burst, as well as taking away some bleed count. The Cascading Gaze of Awe underneath Contempt is very strong. It's 3 attack weight, does quite a bit, but it is, it's a 1 coin, but again, does a lot of extra damage. Consumes all Contempt or Gaze afterwards. She also affects Felbot Yisang. There we go. But the big thing with her is actually her defense. First of all, it's a normal defense. Very rare nowadays. But if she can get this effect up 2 turns in a row, which not that difficult to get, because Gaze actually keeps going between enemies. So really, it's yeah. So unless you use Cascading Gaze, you should eventually, after about 3-4 turns, have a bunch of Gaze or even some Contempt, and then you can use this to get Contempt of the Gaze, which 7 protection. You do no damage when you have Contempt of the Gaze, but you get a bunch of aggro, and with that much aggro, enemies are going to target you pretty often. And you get 7 protection from it, which is ridiculous. And again, after that point, you can just kind of keep using that. I think really, a -2 defense level is kind of weird, but oh well. Doesn't matter too terribly much. Yeah, you can then just use that, and it's just really good as a tank. Anyways, we're not going to be getting that for a while. Not going to be using it for a while. Also, of course, as would it make sense, also very fitting with... Is it an event? Where is... there we go. It was Season 4. Contempt or Ryoshu, of course, works well with the ID. You can get Contempt of the Gaze this way, so you can also have the passive on there. I think it might also inflict Gaze with the ID, but not certain on that one. The Tale of a Great Fixer Who Once Reached for the Dream. Yep, I don't know why is it giving me the tutorial right now. Now for this one, Dawn is not available for much of the dungeon. So I have to keep that in mind. It's probably I can not get much, but I think we're fine with. Yeah, we'll be fine with just this. They do recommend us to have some higher uptime, but I think we'll be fine. There is a fight that I am very worried about, I will admit, but its Aegis, fixed of this vile ocean, refuses to let this destroy his spirits and sails once again to the great sea in a mere raft. My dearest compatriots, this trial is but a stepping stone that will bring us to greater heights. One day we shall proudly engrave today's suffering upon our shields and remember it in better days. Thus this battle is far from over. Find thy courage. Charge! And they looked at one another in the eyes, their determination forged in flames. Oh, what a line. Yet the scores of enemies are already waiting for them in the ambush from the shores, loosened thousands of arrows upon them, the sheer quantity eclipsing the very sun. The arrows rained down their fury upon our heroes, as they stood their ground with their iron-clad shields. Yet there was no shield sturdy enough to withstand such unending onslaught. Even their iron shields began to crack. And as the shields cracked, the mental fortitude of his men began to splinter as well, and many were seen slowly backing away from battle. Nay, we shan't ever give up! I shall be thy sword, shield, and ward, men. Indeed, our iron shields are but tools that may break and splinter, but upon that moment I shall be the shield by which thou shalt be protected from our foes' arrows. The arrows may break my body, but they shall never pierce my righteous heart of justice. Row! Row! Leave me and push on, men! No matter what trial may stand in our path, we shan't ever give up. The adventure of today was just as exhilarating as it ever was, yet set fire to the passion in mine heart. Dear, the most valorous fixer of the Zwei, how fares thee? 'Tis my 131st letter. Prithee excuse my persistence. 'Tis merely that my passion cannot well be doused. I'm soon to be a fixer myself, and with thy teaching I shall become a fixer most just and persistent who doth not know surrender.
Forget not, O Don Quixote, fixer of the future. Forsooth, the foremost virtue of a fixer must be, and always will be, the righteous justice. Thou mustn't turn away from the needy, and thou must always put thy entire being into helping them.
I'm well aware of that myself. My adventure on the morrow should be alongside the Trace Association.
The Trace Association, very well! A relatively fledgling and prolific association indeed. 'Tis said that they specialize in tools and arms for the city dwellers and its fixers, as well as the workshops that fabricate and maintain them. Indeed, the associations are established in the order of need for the city. Let us bid thee farewell until next time. The next adventure shall be the adventure of the 11 wastes of the ruins, in which the heart of the beastly bear is pierced. I look forward to hearing thine exploits.
Forsooth, this adventure shall be, as all hath been thus far, a glowing victory. I recommend you stay put inside. There's no way to tell what awaits you past that door.
I'm in agreement. Recall the tale of the Red Hood, who met and most unfortunate for the simple folly of welcoming in a stranger.
Yet, this knocking upon my gates must mean that a soul seeketh mine assistance. Wouldst thou now agree?
I believe I've afforded you sufficient restraint. The build of this place is quite durable, my lady. We should be able to withstand the assaults of many pursuing blood fiends. Even blood fiend hunters. It is an entirely different question if they can make it this far down to the ruin, of course.
Whoever art thou?
I am your guide. The one who will guide your path in your real adventure. Please, call me Virgilius. My old friend has told me that you are a second kindred.
Second kindred? Whatever art thou referring to? My fellow fixers here have warned me that I mustn't leave the confines of this chamber.
Do my eyes not remind you of anything?
Prithee, do not glare at me with such terrifying gaze. And there remains still 1,708 adventures of mine to embark on. On the morrow I should depart alongside the Trace Association, there after that with the Hana Association, then
The faces on these posters, they were only several decades ago. It's as my fellow has told me, so much of her slumber, even her instinctive craving for blood. Your adventures with them are unimportant. You don't have to listen to these fixers anymore because just an adventure guided by me, a fixer bestowed with the title of a color, sounds much better than any of that.
Thou art a color! I have heard mention of such things from magazines! That is the title, not given only to the finest fixers! I have heard tell that only very, very few fixers have been granted such extolment, for it hath been but a brief moment since such an honor was established. I said you still wish to put your every little bit of your past to sleep. Even that smell of blood. I expect your decision to treat you accordingly. Yes. And the guide will bring you all to the right path. You must come with me, for the journey demands your company. In return, when the time is right, the promised timepiece shall come to be by your side. Promised? Yes. You are bound by a promise, just as I am. So, remember these eyes. Remind yourself time and again, every time you look into these eyes, that hold the blood of a generation higher than your own. I have never a clue as to whatever that is. I speak with the promise I will one day return you when the time is right. Remember, till the unforgettable promise will one day return to you, that you may keep it when the time comes, even as it eludes you now. That is the condition of your adventure. If you are willing to accept these terms, then speak your name to me. Don Quixote. Thou mayest know me as Don Quixote. No, that is not my name. Indeed, Sancho. For all that passion you joined that adventure with, you are nothing but a pretender with a borrowed name, but a singular path in your adventure. The path laid by his teachings.
Sancho, I have conceived an idea most ingenious.
Please don't.
I intend to take part in the Blood Fiend War.
You don't mean.
Indeed, I shall stand with the humans.
Not everyone's gonna like your ingenious idea.
Odd. You sound rather unsurprised by my suggestion. Do you know that I would suggest as such?
I had a feeling you would be saying something like that soon.
Of course, the other elders will come to lecture me or try to convince me otherwise. Sancho expects many guests thus.
Yes, I'll prepare cookies baked with cinnamon. Veteran and elder of B Corps can't seem to stop coughing when ingesting one of those.
I intended to suggest that you inform all of them of my absence and lock the castle gates, yet I found your suggestion more enticing.
However, what truly concerns me is the resistance from your children.
Oh, you needn't worry then. They are my family. I'm certain they will understand. That brings me to a question, however. Sancho, how is it that you are still without kindreds of your own?
I enjoy solitude. I wish to live the rest of my life looking forward and only forward, rather not have anyone tag along behind me.
Speak to me again should that change.
I will not. It will not, but I will. This war will be a long and difficult one. Difficult because we have to slay our own kind.
Indeed it shall be. Yet if we may break their fates only by breaking their skulls, then it shall be a war worth fighting for. Not that we're discussing this particular subject, Sancho. Should the war end, well, in my victory, obviously.
Sure.
Anyway, should the war end, I intend to build a place in which everyone may be happy.
Happy?
What's that expression on your face?
It's been eons since that word left my lips.
You call that place this amusement park she spoke of. A place where people scream and shudder, not from fear, but from joy. That is the kind of place I intend to build.
I still don't understand quite how one screams from joy.
And that land, Sancho. There won't be any wearisome battles to fight. No constant fear of getting devoured. There should be only laughter.
Laughter. Though I was not a part of your family, I suppose, I once looked forward to the realization of his ambitions.
As an observer, of course. In this binary world, which has availed us with only two choices, slaughter humans or to hide on the ground like rats, he alone was the dreamer who conceived of a third option. Yet,
that was no laughter I saw there. They were wailing
so intensely that I longed to turn to something that only resembled laughter.
Let us out of here, or crush our heads! No, you'll not be leaving this place. You won't find death either. Many guests will be lining up to pay a visit to La Mancha Land soon. You recall your missions, yes? Though it has been 200 years, I don't suppose you had a moment to go by without remembering them. Humans here again! It's a festival! The festival's not over! Can people change? I once thought they could.
A long, painful battle lies ahead of us. The blood fiends that will hate and despise will be countless. Hate will be inconceivable. They will cause traitors to our own kind. They will claim that our nature cannot change, that our existence is destined to prey upon humans. Something they accept as a mutable truth. We will be forced to sever our bonds with whom we had once shared our suffering for centuries. Those who feel the very same disease that ails us. Our only kindred spirits in this lonely world. Thus, now is your final chance. If you don't wish to participate, if you refuse, then I will not stop you.
I refuse. Has she gone mad?
Wait, really?
I know you won't let me go anyway. Just as a child wants to stop being an offspring of their parent even if they wish they were.
On that day, The machine purged from place. I was already a dead man. The will of the Father is the will of my own.
I haven't had a chance to sharpen my scissors of late. I'll enjoy this.
Very well. What of you, dear Dulcinea?
I wish you well.
I'm very glad to have my children stand by my side. We're not crime the strongest there is, as you must all be aware. Instead, worry about what is to come once the war ends in our victory. Worry about our lives thereafter, about how we will live on.
Well, how will you live on?
I do not know of yet.
However, I suppose
We should be able to lead a more joyous life than the one we do now. To live without our fates bound to the murder of a fellow living being.
Would you agree that such a life would be a better one?
You finally returned to me, my son, Joe. What joyous day this is, to have all my children by my side once again. Have you said your greetings? You do not know how much we all long to see you again, Sancho. What have they done to you? This, when I could no longer count the number of stakes that have broken my flesh, the counting itself lost its meaning. I saw light in the sky, and this melded into my body.
Light in the sky? Could he be talking about a golden bough? Must have been a Lobami Corp branch here, and the golden bough within resonated with his... Don Quixote slowly walked toward the man who spoke in a sedate voice. That's the Fathoms echo. We should go after her now. We woke up from our dumbfounded silence at the sudden turn of events, and hurriedly followed her inside. I love this canto so much. I don't know why it's giving me the tutorials again, but whatever. A borrowed name. Is that really the same girl who embarrassed herself in a duel against the Sink Fixer? Or is she killing so many blood fiends with such little effort? Every time a blood bag or blood fiend approached anywhere near her, Don Quixote struck them down with a blinding blitz. Was she hiding her strength? No, that doesn't seem right, but she's a blood fiend? Absurd. That creature who deceived us with the false name Don Quixote was a blood fiend all along. Hiding in a lurk and pretending to be human. It's enough. Don't you think that's too much? It would be much worse if I wanted to, but I have enough sense to hold myself back in front of the executive manager. Ellis did not hide her disgust. So toward Faust with that very same expression. Top brass the company must have already been aware of this, obviously. Some blood fiend hiding in her ranks like a snake, biding her time for a chance to sink her teeth into us. But the stories we saw earlier, she wasn't hiding it. She really believed that she was human, that her name was Don Quixote. According to the stories we saw earlier, everything she has told up to this point was a lie. Everything we've known about her was a lie. How many humans do you think this blood fiend has killed in the past? I understand the duplicitous nature of this company, yes, but it subject me in the executive manager's such higher situation. Just let it happen. We have never just let it happen. Fine. What now, then? It seems we're not here to eradicate La Mancha Land, because from where I'm standing, it looks like we're only helping it come together. Don Quixote. That is not my name. That is the name of my father. Don Quixote's red eyes shimmered threateningly at Sinclair. The very same eyes I never wish to see again.
Sancho, you... I see. Not even you can change. Not even a little.
No, I haven't. Nothing changed. Look at me. Your Shinante has suppressed me for a passing moment. Still the same blood-sucking blood fiend who cannot survive without bleeding others. Just how your La Mancha Land regressed to nothing but a hunting ground for us to prey on humans.
Yes, it has. I was wrong. People can't change. We have no choice but to live shackled onto the path dictated by this disease. My family, whom I love so much, have tried to convince me. Let me turn to their side. I was too slow. I was the one who didn't understand until it was too late.
Nicolina, Curiambro, Dulcinea. Is this their doing? And they've tortured you so?
Yes. A throne was fitting for such a pathetic lord, wouldn't you say? Sancho, I thought my heart would well with joy and happiness upon laying my eyes upon you again. Yet there's only sorrow. I thought you at least. At least you would have explored the world outside my stead, experiencing adventures more wondrous than the ones I've heard. But this poor soul I see before me is no different from me, nor my family. Just a blood-starved, red-eyed victim of this sickness.
Spaceborne's changing. His emotions must be affecting the Golden Bough. It's at the bottom of the pallid whale we encountered at the Great Lake. It was Golden Bough, wasn't it?
Yeah, buried deep into its heart. A form of resistance similar to parasitism.
So what now? So you can imagine, while the man with the golden bow on his torso may have once been a powerful being in the past, he seems to have been severely weakened due to an unknown reason. Say the word now. Foolishness. He's not the problem here. It's her. She smells different. Ryoshi pointed her finger toward Don Quixote. Give me a heads up if you're going downstairs to 5 o'clock. I'd like a chance to burn a last cig before I go. I'm gonna try to talk to her first. Go with you, Dante. Guys, this way. They slowly approached Don Quixote, who regards me with her dark eyes. Her usual twinkle seemed like a distant memory. Back off. You've brought me a second kindred here with an explicit purpose. Let me punish the blood fiends who have committed such a sin against my father. Demand a suffocating, meaningless existence. But we had no idea. It wasn't our intention to. Yes, that was precisely our intention. Faust takes a step forward. Only I and Dante, who made conscious during the events of the warp chain, were aware of this. What did you say? This omission could not be helped. Faust is forbidden from being the first to share Sinner's past. SPR. It wasn't just for Don Quixote. She had Gregor's past, Sinclair's past. She didn't talk about either of them until they were ready to talk about it themselves. Or mean to. With false equivalency to compare this to those cases, when it's evident that this was a case of subterfuge. It's an enemy in our midst, which makes their comparison moot. Bloody hell. Can't you see? Your reason is exactly what you didn't tell us. Messy. It's because we all care so much about each other. Please stop this. I fear maybe even rather untoward should we continue to spiral. Yeah. All those little sisters watching us, guys. Don Quixote watched her bickering wordlessly, until the squabble among the sinners began to subside. The entire time they bickered, I racked my brain trying to come up with something, but I just hoped you'd understand. You'd come back to our side. Be one of us again. All I managed to express was this pathetic, naive hope I'd been stewing in the back of my mind. To be one of you? You do not know of our eons of suffering. You do not know of our battles, our struggles, our agony, our victories. I don't suppose you ever will. I'll slowly look into each and every one of these torturous moments and rekindle my buried memories. With every memory, it will rise to the surface again. The wrath, the hatred, the loathing. Thus, I can no longer be one of you again. I'll do a little bit of talking while we're in the fight against Picatula. Again, yep, Don is unavailable. Look, Hierarch 7, Deviat, get the 7s together. Do that. How glad I am to have you back, Sancho. With you by my side, this place should be even happier. My family has finally found true happiness. As they have suffered far too long, they deserve this happiness, more so than anyone. With your return to La Mancha Land, we shall fill this place with even more laughter. Laughter? What a joke. We're here to exterminate your kind. We have been through so much together, have we not, Sancho? Let us show them what we have lived through, these ignorant outsiders. You were foolhardy. Our fools were blood fiends who had grown the size of giants. They drank so much human blood it was boiling, overflowing out of their bodies. They were formidable foes. Our battles were challenging. Even there you dreamed. A hollow dream, nothing more. Hark, my dearest compatriots! Art thou ready for this battle? We shall soon strike the battlefield with our full might. Speak if aught ails thee! Aught ails me. Oh, Sancho, thou art recognized! Speak thy mind! Why are you talking like that? Tis only right that it fixes to be must speak in a manner befitting of his stature. Mine heart beats with such volition whenever I speak in such a manner. Oh, Sancho, prithee, why dost thou speak as I... Because it's ridiculously juvenile. Yet, I cannot help but cherish that day when we ran across the green fields together, tasting the freedom. You were ambushed by blood fiends who broke your lance. Yes, a lance you had crafted me of your own blood. It was a mistake. I underestimated my foes, rather unfortunate yet unshakable habit of mine. Remember you telling me to be mindful of them. Powerful gusts knocked me into the air before smiting me down in the grass. You were to my side, didn't you? I remember your face, your breathing hastened from Wherein. I wasn't that desperate. As I lay upon my back, gasping at the sky from the shock, you appeared into that view. Perhaps it was that moment that led us to victory in that war. You were already certain of your own victory before the war even began. I must wonder if that moment I had begun to think that we would really change. Watching you, who hated running all your life, breathlessly sprinting to my side. I thought perhaps we were all changing little by little. Yet we failed, Sancho. Everything around us is a record, a testament to our failures. Look around you as well as you will, Sancho, at our desolation. So as mentioned, I believe at some point, Blood Fiends cannot have more than two kindred spawn from them, as it were. So Don Quixote, Papa Don, Don of La Mancha Land, however you want to call him, his kindred were Sancho, or Don Quixote, as well as Dulcinea. While it's not confirmed, the most likely is that Nicolina and Coriambro, the barber and the priest respectively, though weirdly they don't get a name, which is kind of unfortunate. Well, they don't get the name cards, so, you know, whatever. They are presumably Dulcinea's kindred. Then presumably somewhere down the line, you have again, presumably, you have Cassidy, who's a kindred of, so he's 6th, 5th would be the kindred of either Coriambro or Nicoletta. So, a couple generations down is where Cassidy lies. Again, not guaranteed. It's not like confirmed that that's the case, but it just seems like the most likely thing that Cassidy is of La Mancha Land in some shape or form, because he was part of the parade. As for the other Blood Fiends that we know, I have not read Distortion Detective, but Moses mentioned that she met with a first kindred, obviously being a first kindred unrelated to the La Mancha Land sect. Sect sounds like it's the wrong word for it, but unrelated to the La Mancha Land group. And then Elena is a second kindred, I believe. Also unrelated. Elena from Library. I don't remember if Elena is ever really brought up by anyone, but I believe, if I recall, Elena is kind of she's kind of laughed at. Sound like the wrong word, but she's kind of disliked by the rest of the Blood Fiends because she was very into murder and not even trying to be subtle about it. I know definitely Papa Don would not like her. Again, he might mention her. I don't remember exactly. If they do. Right here we have some level 3 Picatula. Level 3, again, I mentioned this when we fought the first level 3 Wrath. Level 3 are really the only ones that are particularly difficult. Honestly, the Luxuriae are pretty easy. The Superbiae can be a little bit tricky with some of their rolls, even the level 2s are a bit tricky with some of their rolls. The Eri are, of course, very difficult. The Morositas are very, very difficult. I would say the Morositas, Eri are tougher than Morositas. To put it in more digestible terms, the Gloom ones, I would say, are the second toughest. Wrath is first. The Wrath Picatula level 3 are the toughest. Wrath just overall are the toughest. Excluding Envy, because they're just the IDs. Tragic. Ah well. Cichun will stagger it. I would say that the... Luxuriae might be the easiest overall. The swap ones are... Those ones have some things to them that can be a little bit on the trickier side. As in Tremor. As well as... There's something else with them. We'll see them in due time. We'll start really getting some exposure to the Quixote later on. On that note, it's actually a good thing that we are at this point, in terms of whenever I want to do the Uptight story for Contempt Awe. What's it actually called? It might just be gay, I don't know. But Contempt Awe Ryoshu, only has spoilers for Kanto 6, because it mentions the dough. I don't remember if... Well, actually, I don't know. I don't have Fell Bullet. I don't know if Fell Bullet has any spoilers. Sancho walked into the maze that manifested before us, as if to obey Don Quixote's words to observe the desolation. That blood fiend. Same person as that friend of yours who saved my life earlier? Yep, same person. You insane? So I don't even this register you. This thing you're saying. This Don Quixote is no... but she's still the same person from where I'm standing. Hunga replies confidently. Or perhaps that was just how he usually talks. Even when we grew suspicious, even when we found ourselves at a crossroads, his voice would always carry that calm confidence. So much that it almost seemed silly. But thinking back, he's been more right than wrong. And I hope that's the case again today. I try to put my faith in the help. Damn it. Damn it all. Cowards and milksops, all of you! That creature suddenly turned violent against us like an unpredictable animal she is, will... Otis. Yes. Otis straightened up and looked in my direction with near usual militaristic stiffness. But I could see the thinly veiled anxiety and mistrust seeping through her stoic expression. It was inevitable. One of the reasons I did hide things from the sinners. And Notice is very sensitive to people withholding information, so it's no surprise she's so disgruntled about this. However, because it is Otis I'm speaking to, we're going to follow Don Quixote. I mean, Sancho. But that is... Sorry, let me finish. Yes, my apologies. I can't know exactly what you're thinking. Can't read minds, you know. But I do know that you're unhappy about this. I should be able to explain everything to you in due time, so... I would like for you to trust and follow me through this path, which I believe is our way to victory. Otis' grievance probably runs deeper than what's already left her mouth. It wasn't just the omission of intelligence that bothered her. What she was really worried about is that omission compromising me, herself, and the operation itself. That's just the kind of sinner she is. Then, the solution must be to address that very thing, to tell her that everything's going according to plan. You know, every mission we have done so far has only been to resonating with the Golden Bough, and how that was the key to solving them. Won't be any this time, no, it won't be different. I'm sure of it. That's your wish. It's my command. I'm sorry about forcing you to come along. Regardless of the outcome of this operation, regardless of the soundness of your reasoning, I, Otis, did not fold before the authority given to you by your rank. My decision to follow you is based on your effort to understand and explain the potential risks I've tried to point out to you. That is why I'm applying now to your wisdom. And perhaps the memories of your past are subconsciously affecting your current behavior. I don't remember a thing, though. Don Quixote, executive manager. Amnesia certainly has made things difficult for many of us, hasn't it? There's so many ways to erase people's memories in the city, after all. Yeah, plenty of ways to remove people's memories, and that just kind of what's public. The most common method is moving someone's memory to a different object or a person, or instead of even selling those local products. It doesn't completely destroy the memories. It's cheap, but because it comes with the risk of affecting other memories, only desperate backstreet dwellers use this method. Now that we know the final method, which has so far been unknown, remains inaccessible even now. The River of Oblivion, also known as Letha. Drinking the waters of the river allows one to bury their memories beyond the veil of consciousness, so one can become uncertain, hazy, and dim like the memories from a dream. So that's what you've been looking for, is it, Chun? Not exactly. It's a different shape, somewhere near the River of Oblivion. I suppose that the river I'm searching for has something to do with the immortality of the mind that our elders have been seeking so desperately. Be free from aging and death, right? Yeah, that old tiresome thing. Maybe that's how my memories were removed. I don't even have a dreamy recollection of my memories. It's like they're uprooted, straight from my head. So it's either been transferred to a completely different person or object, or it's been totally destroyed, forever unsalvageable. Still, I have no clue as to who, how, or why anyone would do such a thing. Jashichun briefly glanced at my clock as my clock ticked out before turning her attention back to Honglu. That's why these scant traces of this barrier are so important to me. Can't tell when I agree to her, but I see them. See your traces here. Come on, this is important to you too. You want to survive as heirs, find the thing that will seek that immortality. Zichun stopped herself on the way through her sentence. Yeah, I see. Is this where we have to go separate ways? Yeah. Leaving us already? The path diverges unless you take the other trail. Time to say goodbye? If anyone really lost their memories from drinking the waters of the River of Oblivion, she has to be extremely disoriented. When we turn to the realization that those hazy, nightmarish visions were in fact her own memories, and weren't just dreams, has to be, yeah, to be sad and complex. After all, who is the dreamer? Is it myself as I had existed in that dream, or myself who was awakened from it? Well, whichever way it may be, whether it's a butterfly or not. Here's a flutter ray once again. Thank you for letting me know, Zichin. Yeah. Guess you haven't been spending your time chasing the clouds out of here, brother. See you around. I feel we'll be seeing each other again very soon. If you say so, Zichin, it'll be so. Don't bother saying goodbye, it'll be a waste of time. And thus our time with an AI companion has ended. Next time, we continue on. One complaint. This dungeon is pretty linear. But I don't mind it. I think the story aspects are for the best. Also, Don Quixote doesn't show up on the board here, which is fun. Next time, we'll continue on with the Fathoms of Sancho's ego. But or Don Quixote's. Who knows? Until then, see you guys later.